strength.
Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Garrett Doe, that's the White.
And you could be next. You better give respect. Cause ain't nobody breaking this redneck.
He did not want me to say that. That's why I'm laughing.
He's laughing.
You can find us on Instagram, JD Sports Show. You can find us on SoundCloud, JD Sports Show. You can find us on YouTube, JD Sports Show, Facebook as well.
You really think I'm just not going to do what I said?
He's going to edit all of that out for all
petty.
of you.
I'm petty. I told him there's no reason to mention his word.
So
y'all don't pay attention to Twitter. So Dwight said he's going to be real petty and bleep it out or edit it out. And he thought by switching up his style it was going to matter. Nope. Want to try again, pal? Or
if you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be funny. You're just going to see us laughing, I guess. If you're listening on SoundCloud, I apologize for the long beeps. That was me giving you information Dwight does not care about. So
Dwight cares. He just says you can go in the description. You lazy
beeps. So
yeah.
Have a good weekend, Dwight.
Had a glorious weekend.
Not only was it WrestleMania, the Masters, I know you don't care about that at all, baseball, hockey winding down towards the playoffs, basketball winding down towards the playoffs.
You know, that's literally the equivalent of you saying, there was a Super Bowl, but let's talk about these other things also happen. It's the same thing.
Well, we're going to open up with Mania because clearly, if you have a Twitter,
you realize, like, okay, outside of you and me, nobody has a Twitter. Who watches this show? Nobody. Zero. There were zero.
There was a lot of people littered on Facebook talking about Mania.
Correct, Facebook. Nobody uses Twitter, dude. It's me, you, and every celebrity in the world.
Twitter and Instagram had a lot of WrestleMania stuff going. Snapchat, I assume, but I don't really use Snapchat.
Should I make a JD Sports Snapchat now?
If that's what you would like to do.
I do not want to do that. I can't get y'all jabronis to hit the like button. You think I want to make stories or what the hell do they do on Snapchat?
I don't know. So,
post nudes. I don't know. What do they do on Snapchat?
Dwight. The best of, the worst of, your favorite parts, and overall grade on Mania.
That's a loaded ass question.
Worst of.
The worst of, I'm just gonna go left field. The length, the time that is invested into being a fan, which was 5 hours and 10 minutes for WrestleMania. For those, paying attention.
Not including the pre-show.
Which was 2 hours, so you're looking at a 7 hour.
Okay.
You're looking at a full shift is what you're looking at. So that I'm going straight there. That is the negative.
I have a question for you before we go any further.
Because honestly, match-wise, I don't think I have on the main card, I don't think I have a single negative per se. Even if I didn't agree with it or understand anything that happened.
Okay, we'll get to that. My question to you.
I don't think there's a negative per se.
My question to Dwight on this one would be, it seems like a reoccurring issue when every time we talk about wrestling is when we talk about wrestling the most. But we talk about it at SummerSlam every year, at Royal Rumble. We talk about it throughout the year when things happen. There's always
the big four, Survivor Series.
Right, but even throughout the rest of the year, we still add on to it a little bit here and there. The thing that we have the conversation about the most, the reoccurring thing, and it is what has lost baseball fans. is the length of all of them. I mean, what the other three are at least 4 hours long at least.
The other what?
The other three big wrestling pay-per-views a year.
Oh yeah. The main pay-per-views. Well, actually, they cut it back a bit. Oh, you're saying the main ones. Okay. The regular pay-per-views have been kind of cut back to about 240, 245,
okay,
2 an hour, 3 hours. I mean.
That's a good time though. I mean, that's still long, but that's what you expect for
right.
pay-per-views.
Pay-per-view should be about 3 hours.
4 hours for the main ones is not bad, but 5 hours is a long time.
4 hours is a lot.
4 hours is a lot, but okay, if you're going to do that 4 times a year, that's acceptable, yes?
No, 4 hours is still obnoxious. It's
once a year, maybe Mania?
No, 4 hours is way too much
so 3 hours for all of them.
Fine, that's fine. There's no reason not to be.
Okay, I don't disagree. I'm just
4 hours. No, 4 hours is obnoxious. I don't care if it's WrestleMania or any other big event. There's nothing that should take place for 4 hours.
Are there kids that watch every little thing? The NXT?
Oh, I have no clue.
Because NXT had a thing the night before, right? That was how long?
That was
at least an hour.
That was 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours.
So you're looking at, 2
least
hours,
2.5
plus 7 hours the next day. You're looking at 9 hours within a 24 to 30 hour time period.
All right, let me break it down. This is WWE's weekend. Hall of Fame starts on Friday.
Okay.
This past Hall of Fame that just took place.
Yeah.
Took, what was that? 4.5 hours.
Woo.
4.5 hours.
Did you watch it?
I watched about 2 hours worth. It was 10 o'clock. And
how far were they?
They had 3 of the
Hall of Famers.
I think it was like 8. No, they went through 3 speeches. Right. In 2 hours they went through, well, they were in the middle of, they were in the middle of speech number 3.
How long was this? How long did it last total?
4.5 hours.
4.5 hours.
4.5 hours.
Plus 2 hours the next night for NXT. 6.
So we're up to 6. Then you want me to watch 5 hours of Mania.
Plus 2 of pre-show.
13 hours. Then you want me to watch Raw. That's 16. SmackDown's the night after on Tuesday. That's 2. So 18. Then you got NXT again on Wednesday. You want me from Friday to that next Wednesday to watch 19 hours of professional wrestling. Now, I asked you this, and I brought this up before. You already know I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. I'm also a huge wrestling fan, but obviously a bigger Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah.
I don't want to, in a day, go through more than, let's say, 2 hours, like a concert's worth of Michael in a day. Because eventually, you do hit a point, no matter how good something is, no matter how much you enjoy something, you will hit a point where you either zone out, not pay attention, or you just get tired of it.
Yes.
So, would you want to watch in what did I say? On Friday through Wednesday, in a 6 day time frame, do you want, 19 hours worth of Jay-Z? The answer is most likely no, correct?
No, okay, no, but...
Like straight, like just him.
What about my thoughts on, I watch the playoffs in basketball, but that's different teams. That's not the same 2 teams.
Do you watch 19 hours, Jesus, 19 hours total?
No,
in
probably
a
not.
like
Probably
16.
Not. No, you're probably right. I probably don't catch all of it, especially if the Sixers aren't in it. If the Sixers are in it, most likely yes, because I watch all the Sixers games and I'll watch some LeBrons. But even if that, no, you're right. No, probably not.
No, knock it off. You do not watch 19 hours worth of basketball.
But I still watch a lot of basketball in that time frame. A lot of people do watch 19 hours. A lot of people watch 8 hours and 8 hours. They watch 18 hours or 16 hours in 2 days on Saturday and Sunday of the first weekend.
Of what?
Basketball.
March Madness?
Huh?
Of March Madness?
No. Well, March Madness, yes. I mean, you look at that. That's some people watch every game in the first 4 days. But I'm talking in NBA, the Saturday and Sunday. You have 8 hours of basketball each day, from noon to what? 10:30 is the last game.
Those are people that are getting paid to do that. You don't know anybody. You don't know a single person who is not getting paid to do that does that.
There's people that sit at home and do that all day on Saturday and Sundays.
You're presuming you don't know a single soul that does that.
A lot of people sit at home and watch the Masters for the 4 days.
All day, the entire time.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people that do that, but I know a lot more people who do the March Madness.
They don't do anything. They don't do anything else. They just sit in front of the TV and watch that straight.
Yeah, they take off the 4 days. I don't know if they do other things. I don't know. They might get up in the morning and do other stuff because the Masters don't come on till 3 o'clock on Sunday, so you have other things you can go do.
Point being, back to the original point.
Yeah, no, it's still a lot, no matter what. No matter if
nobody
you like
is
so much of one
doing
thing.
these things.
My question to you is:
so that is the worst part of it.
Do you think
the time?
they will ever shorten it?
At this point, no.
Because they're getting enough viewers, yes.
No, because at this point, sponsors talk. Same reason Raw is 3 hours long, because that's on television. That they're getting more sponsors during that hour. There's no reason to backpedal at that point. That would be a loss of money.
Which match was the worst?
Match-wise, I don't know. On the main card?
Yeah.
I don't know, because the matches that I weren't interested in, honestly, I didn't pay attention to. I paid zero attention to, so I can't. I don't know. I guess if I had to pick one, it'd probably be the main event. It was just, nah.
You don't want that to ever happen.
Yeah, it was garbage. It was garbage.
Lesnar retained the belt.
Yeah. It was hot garbage.
Best match of the evening?
No, I want to go back to that hot garbage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know why. I guess I just tried to erase it out of my memory, but I completely forgot about that match.
Lesnar?
That main event was absolute trash.
Roman Reigns?
Yeah. That main event was absolute trash.
Not the good guy, he's not the bad guy.
He's just a piece of shit.
He's the guy who lost to Brock Lesnar after not 1, not 2, not 3. A bunch of F5s.
5. It took 6 to defeat him.
What? Mm-hmm. How many Stone Cold Stunners did it take for Stone Cold to win the belt?
1. Look, the match was trash. The match was absolute shit.
You didn't like Roman Reigns having blood all over himself?
The match was absolute shit. It was absolute trash. The booking was horrible. You don't have a guy kick out of 5 finishers, lose on number 6. You don't have this guy start bleeding out of nowhere.
Profusely.
Right. And then he kicks into another gear, and I'm supposed to just believe that now he is super Cena or super whoever the fuck. I'm not, like, it's stupid. It's horrible.
Hogan.
That's not Hogan. Hogan would never kick out of 5 finishes. He kicks out of 1 sometimes. He would never kick out of more than 1. It never happened. Never. In Hogan's career. Hogan's a piece of shit in and out of the ring. Not just because of the race thing. But he has never kicked out of more than 1 finisher. And I would challenge anybody to find me a time he kicked out of more than 1. You can't.
Do you think it's good that Brock retained the belt?
I don't really give a shit that Brock retained the belt. I'm shocked by it.
They're going to fight again in a steel cage match? Saudi Arabia, correct?
Yeah.
Any more in that match?
Stupid. It was horrible. It didn't make any sense. It was just a swerve. To sum up this entire pay-per-view, it was WWE just swerving everybody's beliefs. Nobody believed that Roman was not going to win the title. Nobody believed that Auska was going to lose her streak. Nobody would believe that Nakamura was going to turn. Nobody believed...
So he went heel. Yes.
Yeah. Nobody believed these particulars of these matches. So I feel like WWE was just swerving everybody. That's not necessarily a good thing, especially when you're in the main event and you got a guy who people don't like versus a guy that people now don't like because allegedly he's going to the UFC. So then you make the one guy who people don't like is going to stick around, kick out of this guy's finisher 5 times. It was just a whole clusterfuck. It's not a good thing to have a main event of a 5-hour event, which was actually solid. To give you my grade, I'd probably give it an 8.5. It was a solid card. Whether I liked the results or not, the pay-per-view overall was very solid.
Were the matches other than that one pretty good?
Yes. Even if I didn't understand or agree with the decision, the direction of them.
The biggest one, not the main event, the fight before it, was it as good as advertised?
You talking about Braun Strowman?
No, I'm sorry. What's the one before that then? The one from Japan. I'm sorry. The fight that
Nakamura versus AJ Styles?
Yeah, where they had...
It was good. It was good. It just wasn't what it was in Japan, which I'm going to call out wrestling fans again because apparently bums don't fucking watch it. Whether you follow New Japan or not, you need to go on Google and search Nakamura versus AJ Styles from New Japan. I believe it was 2 years ago. It might be 3 at this point. I don't remember. That match was 35 minutes worth of them beating the hell out of each other. Was this WrestleMania match that? No, not at all. It was solid. For WWE standards, it was a 9. In comparison to the first match, it was a 7. It was good, but eh.
Why do you think they had him turn heel?
Swerve. Again, just a swerve. It's to fool these dudes that think they know everything about wrestling.
What was your favorite match of the evening?
Charlotte versus Flair. Or yeah, Charlotte versus Flair. Idiot. Charlotte versus Auska, easily. It was the best match.
Charlotte won.
Beginning to end. Again, a situation that I didn't necessarily understood and I don't agree with. I was all in on Auska winning. It made the most sense. You don't kill a 2-year streak of winning to Charlotte. Like, it just feels empty. Like, to me, you save that for a Ronda Rousey. That's more impactful. That's important. That makes sense. That builds her. You don't put it against Charlotte, who is already made and by far and away, according to any wrestling fan.
Oh, what if you only have her lose that one, and then Rousey fights her?
And according to any wrestling fan, Charlotte Flair is the woman. Like, she is the best in the world at this point. You don't need her to defeat Auska. You don't need her to destroy a 2-year run. That's stupid. To me, you build up towards Ronda being undefeated, and then streak versus streak fight.
Speaking of,
then you just end it. You don't need to have somebody who's already established as a Flair, for Christ's sake.
Speaking of Ronda Rousey, she your favorite wrestler yet?
No.
Did she do good?
She was solid. She was very solid. I liked what she did. I watched it twice, and both times I was about it. It was good. It was very good. For her.
Steph. Triple H.
Kurt Angle looked like shit. I'll just get straight to it. Kurt Angle looked like a bum. He looked like complete shit.
He was a pawn this entire time.
Yeah, he was. And he looked horrible. He looked horrible this match. He
looked horrible in the pre-ones.
He was
the pre-conversations, and then like the little stupid little fights beforehand that weren't fights. It was just him getting beat up.
It was horrible. It was one-sided. It was absolutely stupid. Stephanie, I didn't like at all that Stephanie just had to throw her weight around. Again, I'll say before, I'm going to keep saying it. I don't need badass Ronda Rousey taking
shots. She was
shots from Stephanie, who's 40 years old, mother of 2 or whatever she is.
They got their
picture once every 4 years.
They got their picture of both of them looking like they're getting pedigreed. They also got the picture of Ronda Rousey's arms being pushed back and Steph's foot on her back or whatever. And to your point,
just looks stupid.
Ronda Rousey should have been able to just absolutely throw her upside down while Steph's foot was on her back. Rousey should have been able to literally stand up and toss Steph to the 3rd row. I mean, that's how it would have actually happened.
It was foolish. It was stupid. It was foolish. It looked horrible. But Ronda, that was what everybody was focused on. No, the rest of it is just whatever to me. But Ronda looked very good. She looked excellent. But I have a problem with it.
What?
Ronda Rousey looked very good in a controlled environment. She's had the past, I don't know, several weeks, if not months, to practice and prepare and get ready for this match. I'm just going to throw it out there because this is what wrestling is. What is she going to look like next week when she fights?
If she fights Charlotte ever.
What she got to look like tomorrow? 3 days from now. If she's fully in, which she's supposed to be, when she's fighting every week, every other week, whatever they decide to do with her TV-wise, what is she going to look like?
Are they going to ever fight often, you think?
Who?
Ronda.
Ever fight off what?
Often.
Well, they have to. They're claiming she's all in, then yeah, she has to. This is my point. When she starts having televised events on Raw, is she going to look as good? My answer is no. She looked good in a controlled environment because she had 2 months, 3 months, whatever it was to practice this. What's it going to look like when they say you're fighting her tonight? I don't think it's going to look as good because she is extremely new. Right. There's no reason to jump onto this, oh my God, Ronda's going to be okay. Was she a 10 out of 10? No. Was she solid compared to what everybody expected her to be at this point? 1,000%. But if she looks the same way 6 months from now, we're going to be saying she sucks. That's just the fact of the matter is. So, again, then what's next? Because when you start putting her with these other women every single week or every other week, whatever they do with her, it's not going to be as smooth. It's not going to be as solid because she doesn't have the experience.
So, do you think they're going to build her up to get her the title anytime soon?
Anytime soon, no.
Do you think she's going to have to fight for like a year or so to get there? Next WrestleMania, do you think she's fighting for the title?
Oh, easily, yeah.
You think that's the storyline?
They might just give her a year. Yeah, they have to at least give her that.
Okay. Now,
but that would be, if she would keep going, that would give her enough time to get to a level where it's like, okay, I can believe it. Right now today, one match in, when you, by the way, look weak and vulnerable to a 40-some-year-old Stephanie, it's not a good look. It's not a good look.
I have a question.
So what are you gonna look like when you face a Charlotte who just defeated a 2-year streak? When you face somebody like that, how are you gonna look? Because as a wrestling fan, I'm looking at it that it's not gonna look good. It's gonna look stupid.
Do you think in the SmackDown and Raw shakeup next week? Do you think she'll stay on Raw?
Yeah.
Best move?
Easily. 1,000%. She stays on Raw because Raw is the A show to WWE. They don't care about SmackDown. As much as they like to pretend they do, they don't give a fuck about SmackDown. She will not be on SmackDown.
I have a question. Not to push off subject and keep moving, but it was a very long show and a lot happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was a part, because I got to watch it the day after with you. There was a part we made a lot of jokes, we had a lot of fun with last week when we talked about it, and it never... It ended up being a disappointment. John Cena sat front row for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. He was being a fan like he said he was going to be.
Got wind that Taker was here in the building.
Mm-hmm.
He runs as fast as he can after Charlotte won up the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out, about an hour later, 45 minutes later, if that.
Yeah, something like that.
Lights go dark. What was the gentleman's name?
Elias.
Elias, that's right. Elias starts singing.
Comes out with his guitar. Plays a song.
John Cena goes, sits in the front row.
Mm-hmm.
He says a song about Cena sucks. Cena comes and beats him up.
Mm-hmm.
Cena was walking up the ramp. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
It's not The Undertaker, so where are you going with this?
Who's your favorite? Is it Sting?
No, it's not Sting. Christ.
Who's your favorite?
Anyway, The Undertaker comes out.
Stares down Cena on the ramp.
Mm.
Epic match to ensue, correct? I mean, you gotta think this is gonna be one of the best.
Yep. 5-10 years ago, like I said. To summarize what this man is attempting to get at, this match was 2.5 minutes. John Cena got his ass whooped by The Undertaker in 2.5 minutes. With about this much hype and zero Undertaker conversation.
Why do you think it was that fast?
He's an old ass man, supposedly has health problems. I don't know.
Why do you think they didn't anyways then?
He's an old ass man, he has health problems, and his name's The Undertaker.
He has to end on that note, you would assume, yes. He can't continue this.
That's what I want. I want the way that this went down, I felt that they wanted him to go out on a W, which he deserves. He looked like shit last year when he walked out, not just because he lost, because he looked like shit. He was out of shape, just look like shit. This year he looked like a in shape old man that still couldn't hang because he was very winded. He wrestled for 2.5 minutes. That was the clock time, and he was extremely winded. He was not about it because he's an old ass man who allegedly has some serious health problems. What they are, I don't know, but apparently, supposedly, they're pretty serious.
John Cena only got what, 1-2 moves then?
He got one move exactly. It's a blown opportunity. It's dumb. Do I need to see any more? No. Taker got your W. Walk away. I don't need to see you people have suggested that this should be an every year thing.
I thought it was going to be that way until it was only 2.5 minutes, and then once it was over, I was like, oh, never mind.
It doesn't need to be.
No, not now.
Who wants to see,
No.
He's an old-ass man. Walk away. You walk away on a W. It should have been over last year. I'm mad as shit that this was even a thing.
My favorite...
If he would have came out and it would just been a fight, cool. No, this was technically a match, so... just destroys everything that happened last year.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
My favorite part of the entire Mania, and my favorite part of most of WrestleManias and most WWE big events like this, is the set. I love the set, right? And the set looked really cool when The Undertaker came out. I thought that was the coolest it looked all night, as it always does when The Undertaker comes out. But it was built perfectly for his, the coloring, everything. It all perfectly blended. John Cena, who is a good actor for the most part in actual Hollywood, looked scared shitless, and it was a pretty creepy moment, and it was pretty awesome to see.
Scared shitless because he was scared shitless.
Yeah, as he should have been. So
I told you when we played it back, I told you this is real. This isn't just one person saying it. I hear it every single time. People doing interviews that have nothing to do with WWE. People say when they are in the ring, and this was even going back years and years, or up until this point, when Undertaker's coming down, they legitimately get chills.
Yeah.
Whether they get actually afraid or not, it depends on who you ask. But every single one of them say no. It's even though it's quote unquote fake or whatever. Every single person has always said, "Yeah, no, that messes with you." And if it doesn't, then you're just not paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has to be a horrifying sight. You see a guy in a trench coat who is 1,000% in his character, which is a demonic, dead person with a blank stare, long hair, a hat. And he's doing magic. It has to mess with you. If you're not shook by that, you're not human. So I believe.
Cena was on the ramp.
Whereas, of course, part of it was him being extra.
Had to be, but still.
Even at least with him standing within that moment when Taker's in the center and he's staring at John who's in the corner. At that moment, John, I 1,000% would say he was shook, and I would love to. I'm sure somebody will ask him at some point in the interview, and I promise you he's going to say, yeah, I was terrified.
Yeah, that's a rough moment.
But do I need to see Taker anymore? No, I'm good, fam.
Agreed.
You can go away. It's
Anything
fine.
else? Because I have another topic that is sort of related to Mania, but not. It's not.
No.
Anything else with Mania itself?
Nope.
Okay, so there was one thing that happened after the Ronda Rousey fight.
Mm-hmm.
That when we watched it, I just kept looking at you like, are you kidding me right now?
Mm-hmm.
There's this guy who I don't like. Used to run the UFC. Now still the face of the UFC, but doesn't own it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Used to talk nothing but stupid garbage on the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's sitting, what, second row?
I don't know where this man was.
Second row for
He's talking about Dana White. Dana White was in attendance for Ronda Rousey.
this
And the
bald.
WrestleMania. Wearing a Ronda Rousey shirt, looking like a tool bag, looking like an idiot.
He's so fake.
Yeah, no.
He's as fake as the Conor McGregor skit the other night.
Whatever, that was fake, but no, Dana White, he's phony. He's phony. He hates wrestling. He hates WWE. The only reason why he was there was because Ronda Rousey's been saying forever that she was going to get him to go to one
Did
event.
he stay for Brock?
I have no clue, but they didn't show him again because he probably fucking left. Yeah, there you go. No. Are we gonna get into the Conor McGregor thing?
You don't
now?
think the
Because
Conor McGregor? You don't think it was fake?
That's retarded to me. No. Why would it be? There's nothing phony about a man going to jail. There's nothing phony about a man breaking into an arena. There's nothing phony about him throwing a thing through the fucking bus, which conveniently got glass in one fighter's eye. Conveniently,
I think it went
some
further
guy
than they
got
wanted to,
some
but
guy.
I still think it was. I think it was set up. I don't think it was like a.
It's ridiculous. One guy got jumped. They had to cancel, I don't know, 2 or 3 fights. People legitimately got hurt. UFC lost money because they had to cancel fights. That makes absolutely 0 sense. I don't understand a single
know if the
soul.
UFC was involved with it.
I don't.
I
Who
just
was
think this
involved?
is a Conor McGregor and his boys just set this up, and I think that they went further than they wanted to. But I think they absolutely were going for the.
No, that's ridiculous.
How did they get backstage like that?
Because you say I'm Conor McGregor, UFC is here, and who's going to say no? Duh.
But they have locked security, being told not to let him in.
Who said that?
Well, this is the
Who
UFC. They
said
knew
that?
they
What
fought.
did I just say? What
They
did I just
fought.
say?
They fought at the nightclub. What, 2 nights before, or whatever it was.
Conor McGregor was in his home country, flew in within 12 hours or whatever
Yeah,
it is,
'cause at the
and then
nightclub-
came to Barclays and said, "I'm Conor McGregor. This is UFC." What needed to be said? Did they let him through the door?
I don't know. But whatever happened at the nightclub on Wednesday between Conor McGregor's boy and that fighter made Conor
Was
McGregor.
it in America?
No, the fight between the fighter and Conor McGregor's boy happened at a nightclub in New York City. Conor McGregor was over in Ireland or something like that, and he flew over because he was angry.
So
But this is I don't know.
what are you getting phony out of?
Because the UFC has not had any attention in how long, and this is the only.
So you get the worst attention having one of your biggest names ever go to fucking prison and get locked up?
But you knew he'd get out on bail.
Because
even if
he has
it's
money,
felony,
so.
he'd be fine. You know he's gonna fight again.
I'm
You know
wait-
he's
I'm
gonna
wait-
have a
I'm
lot
wait-
more
I'm
money.
wait-
You know
I'm
he's gonna
waiting
be able to
for-
travel the world like he always does. This isn't gonna
Who
affect his
says
life
he's
in
going
any
to
way.
fight again? Why
He
would
will-
Dana White want to book him
He
again?
will absolutely fight again in the
On the
UFC.
basis of what? They just lost so much money because Conor McGregor cost him 3 fights.
How much money do you think Conor McGregor would make them?
He was going to make that before this shit happened.
You don't think he'll still make it?
No.
You don't think he would make that?
I don't
for
think
the
people will
UFC?
fuck with him. No.
I mean, I think
He's making money. This
Look,
doesn't make it any better.
I
No.
don't. I would. I don't.
Dana White is saying...
I've never really been a big fan of the UFC in the first place, so I've never gone out of my way
You
to
don't
watch
need to
it.
be. Dana White said, and I quote, because he's been asked, are you going to suspend him? What are you going to do? He said, this ain't about UFC. This is government and this is state law at
I
this
hope
point.
that they don't work with him, and that'd be great. But I just think that they are absolutely going to book another fight with him at some point.
This started because Dana White said, we're going to strip you of this belt.
Because he hasn't fought in, what, a year?
Right, because he did the McGregor bull or the Floyd bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know what the fight at the nightclub...
He lost his title because Dana took it away.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what the fight at the nightclub on Wednesday was about between that fighter and
Nothing
his
to
boy.
do with anything that happened.
But McGregor came... Well, that's what they were looking for, that fighter. They wanted that fighter to come out of the bus. That's why he threw the thing at the bus. He wanted that fighter to come out of the bus and fight them for some... I don't know what the fight at the nightclub was about. But he flew in, ready to rumble with this dude.
There was nothing fake about that then. Well, even if it was that reason, then what's fake about it?
I think that
If there was an issue at the nightclub, so it was fake for 24 hours. They did a story at a nightclub, then they did a story at the Barclays Center.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
Got him class, got him publicity.
No. I don't understand anybody that thinks that this was fake. And I saw quite a deal of that, and I was just like, what do you like? UFC, there's no win for UFC. They lost money on this pay-per-view. They lose money because this is bad press.
Nobody was going to watch pay-per-view anyways. Yes?
I don't know.
Did you even know they had a pay-per-view this weekend?
I haven't known for like 12 months because I just don't personally care.
Not just
I'm
you.
also not a UFC. I don't know what UFC people have thought. But that has nothing to do with Conor McGregor. You don't take
UFC
a loss.
Fight that I've heard talked about
goodness.
massively was probably Conor McGregor one, yeah?
Okay, so what does that have to do with it?
No, I'm just saying that's not good for the sport. Boxing at least once every
and neither
5
is
months,
a man
3 months
fucking up a
something
pay-per-view.
I
Neither
agree,
is a
but
man
it
going
at
to
least got
jail.
eyes on them. I'm not saying people even ordered the pay-per-view then and watched.
It doesn't help. I'll take Dana White's word for it. That no, this.
I also think that if either way, if Conor McGregor fought in 6 months from now, they would get a lot of people to buy it. I don't
think people are gonna fuck with it.
I think before they would have gotten a lot of people to buy it. Do you?
If he didn't do all this shit,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I don't want to watch this man get punched in the face for free. He's a punk.
Look, we will
He's a
see. I
bitch,
agree.
He's a bum.
I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see it.
I don't mess with him. I don't care if it's fake or not, which it's not. That goes against all business, standard business practices. No, I don't think it's.
I don't want to. I wouldn't want to watch him anyway. I'm not going to watch him either way. But I will be curious to see if the public feels the same way as you about it. Quickly, Dwight's favorite sport, hockey, the NHL. Playoffs start this Wednesday. Philadelphia Flyers play the Pittsburgh Penguins in round 1. This will be a fun matchup.
Let's go Penguins.
Anybody but I am rooting for the Flyers, obviously.
How about the Flyers?
In the West, the Knights, the Las Vegas Knights, the first expansion team to ever be I think they're the 3 seed, 2 seed, but to have 100 points since the Philadelphia Flyers. The Winnipeg Jets, I think they're pretty good. They have a chance. Obviously, the Nashville Predators. In the East, I mean, obviously, I'm rooting for my Flyers, but a lot of teams in it.
So who you got? Fuck.
Because it's random in the NHL, I'm going Jets, Maple Leafs.
In the finals?
Yeah, 2 Canadian teams. The Canadian team hasn't made the finals in, I think, 12 years? So I'm going 2 of them this year. I'd like to see the Flyers.
That's extra.
Obviously. The Golden Knights would be pretty cool. That'd be a good story. Anybody but the Penguins.
So I got the Penguins in the first round. This is really start on Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday.
That's wild.
Game 1.
It doesn't feel like playoff
7 o'clock,
mode.
Flyers.
Literally, WrestleMania is happening. I feel like there's always like a week until
Basketball
WrestleMania.
starts Saturday. We'll talk about that.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like there's always a week in between Mania and then the start of the playoffs. But
Easter was the first weekend of
3
April
days?
this year, so it was different. Things were like just shuffled around.
It's just weird.
Mania this year was
it doesn't feel like
2 weeks after it was last year. Last year was at the end of March, remember?
Yeah, and I mean that fluctuates usually.
Yes.
Well, actually, I think this might be the latest ever.
And
one of
Easter-
the latest ones.
Easter was on the 1st of April this year, so that's why everything kind of got jumbled around.
And Mania is usually the last week of March. Sometimes it's that first weekend of April, but because of the way Easter fell, they were just like, all right, we're gonna skip it a week. But I guess, well, there's that week then. I guess because I say that there's usually a week, and there it is.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
So,
it's just weird.
one last thing that you don't talk about.
What's that?
Masters. It was fun 4 days. Tiger was barely in it.
Oh, who?
Tiger Woods, so I told you the field was going to win, but Tiger was the favorite according to Vegas.
Cub Woods.
Phil didn't have the best weekend. Roy McIlroy had a shot there at the end, but the last 3 holes he didn't do well. Jordan Smith made a run at the end, but the last, 2 holes didn't do well. Ricky Fowler was too far out of contention, so he had a great Sunday, but it just was not good enough because Jordan Reed had a great Friday and Saturday. Jordan Reed. 2 things I like about Jordan Reed. He's the villain, right? That's the first thing I like about him. The thing I like about him most. It was like 5 years ago. He said he's a top 10 golfer. He belongs to be in the top 5 of every major. He's actually finished top 10 of most majors in the last 4 years. He won the Masters. He's not liked by a whole lot of people on tour. He's not liked by the media. He doesn't talk to his family. Okay. He's from Augusta. He's from 5 miles from where the Masters are played from, but he doesn't talk to his parents who were watching it from 5 miles from where, the course is.
So, whatever.
They said it was bittersweet. His sister he doesn't talk to.
Okay. That's their business.
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Nobody cares.
I like him a lot. A lot of people do not like him.
Okay.
I just like his villain aspect. I think golf needs something like that.
So also, he's fake like Conor McGregor?
Maybe. He's a golfer, so I don't see him being super tough.
Well, Conor McGregor ain't tough. He threw a fucking barricade through a bus window.
Part 2 of why I like...
He jumped somebody, so...
Part 2 of why I like Patrick Reed.
Conor McGregor's like Paul Pierce tough.
No, Paul Pierce is not tough. Part 2 of why I like Patrick Reed. Huge Notre Dame fan.
I understand, like, you this guy, and you literally say that, and you say that with a straight face because you mean it. I like this person because they're, like, why does that even matter?
It doesn't. I actually liked him before I found out he was a Notre Dame fan. I just found out after he won the Masters that he was a Notre
But
Dame
that's
fan.
just the icing on the cake for you. Like, you don't take it out of the way.
No, I was
you
like,
should
well,
still
man,
just
cool.
be like, no.
Me too.
I can't stand Notre Dame or Philadelphia anything fans because they're all the same.
Okay.
The second reason why I like them because they root for them. So, what does that have to do with you? Nothing.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
All the quarterbacks. Let's say RG3 wasn't picked up by the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And I offered you Johnny Manziel, RG3, Colin Kaepernick, Chase McDaniels.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even think of any other backup quarterbacks that are on the market. McCown's, one of them got to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Who you taking?
Bankruptcy. Because I want none of that garbage.
If you had Colin Kaepernick or RG3, that was your options.
Colin Kaepernick. See what points it is?
The Baltimore Ravens last year said that they weren't going to sign Colin Kaepernick because of the backlash of their fans. Same organization that we also pointed out at that time did support Ray Lewis for different reasons, did support Ray Rice, and then re-supported Ray Rice when the NFL re-suspended him. And Ray Rice, remember the press conference after all that? They sat there as an organization, the owner, the GM, the coach, and Ray Rice sat down, talked in front of the media about how they were going to be right here by his side. And that's, look, I wasn't accepting or okay with this, but if you're going to do it, and then you're not going to sign Colin Kaepernick years later because of his quote-unquote political stance.
That's not the reason, because it sucks. That's why I didn't sign him. He sucks.
He doesn't fit the system, right?
Yeah, he just sucks. He's garbage. He's horrible.
RG3?
Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? He's not even a conversation.
Much better.
The GOAT. The second coming of Washington. Putting Chocolate City on the map.
I mean, you might as well went out and drafted a quarterback if you were going to go this route because you were going to get scrutinized by people like you and I. Now, look, we're not in the sports media world, even though we would like to be one day.
I don't know who the sweet people is. I would not want to be, but anyway.
We're going to be if we continue to do this, hopefully.
The podcast was not in the sports media. They just some niggas with a fucking podcast.
Anyways, point being, we're going to be in the talk, in the conversation is what I would like to be one day.
That's what we're doing right now.
I think it would be our duty to forever point out things like when you're shoving down our throats, talent, and I'm not going just Ray Rice, Zeke Elliott, if the NFL is going to go the what distance they did against Ezekiel Elliott for what did they call it, to justify or whatever for her, whatever to get her.
She's white.
I don't know, but to basically teach him a lesson. But they're not gonna go out in front of one of these organizations.
Look, I'm not understanding your correlation here. Where are you going with it?
Not just him. Any of these people. Okay, not just him.
Because you said a whole lot of nothing. You said Ezekiel Elliott for some reason. I'm still trying to figure out
I'm trying.
why.
Okay,
why.
I'm trying. Alden Smith.
You can keep naming. Give me a correlation. Where are you going with this? You keep naming names. What are you saying?
These players that are quote unquote by the NFL get suspended for
thugs, black people. Where are you going with this?
But they all have places on rosters. But
they're all under contract.
Colin Kaepernick.
Ezekiel Elliott's under contract.
Okay, but Colin Kaepernick and we've determined Colin Kaepernick and RG3 are both not as good as each other, right? Or I mean, Colin Kaepernick's better than RG3, right?
Yeah.
So why are they not taking Colin Kaepernick instead of RG3?
They were both bums without contract. Okay, so I'm just the Zeke comparison and whoever else you were naming that would let's just call that a fail.
Ray Rice, all these people that were
they're already on the contract. They were already on the contract. Your point is why doesn't Colin Kaepernick have a contract but RG3 does? That's what you're trying to get at.
But these other players who are doing
they had contracts. They were already under a legally binding contract. Which even if you cut me, I'm still getting paid. But okay.
We don't see players getting cut every day for apparently their performance, but these people all have jobs. No. Okay. My thing is they're getting supported because of how apparently skilled they are.
Because they're under contract and we're paying them and we're not cutting them because we don't want to pay the tax. I'm just not following where you're trying to go with this. These men are under contract. Colin Kaepernick and RG3 were not. Yeah, they suck. And we're not going with RG3 because of the other circumstances.
No, they are going with RG3.
Or they're not going with Colin because of the other circumstances. The correlation here with Colin, I'm not following.
I think Colin has, if you're going to run any kind of system of a mobile quarterback, Colin would be the guy if you're going.
Yeah, he was the guy when he was with San Francisco, and then guess what? The contract came up and they said, guess what, you're not.
Because of his political situation.
Right. And he was already under contract. The point being, Colin is not going to get a new contract because of
I don't
that.
think he'll ever play in the NFL again. I actually didn't think RG3 was ever going to play in the NFL again. Did you?
No, because it's garbage. But he doesn't speak out.
I'll
ask Don McNabb and every Eagles.
Who was it? Reed.
Eagles fan and got salty about that.
I think his name's Eric Reed. He was a safety for the Niners. He said he wasn't getting a contract because of it.
Right. None of them are. The reason why, and you mentioned Zeke and all these other people who are like anti-NFL or whatever, because they're already there. They're already on the contract.
I also
can't do
think
anything
that
about that.
In the situation during the Ray Rice situation, and the Zeke thing's a whole different thing, but all the people, even the convicted ones, if you are... These are young men who make mistakes. I'm not saying these aren't egregious mistakes, but these are obviously egregious mistakes if they are doing these things, but... Still, if the second chances are deserved, and I'm okay with it, but if you're not going to give Colin Kaepernick a second chance, then you got to kind of start looking at the other one sideways too. If you're going to keep giving these players second chance, I mean, Josh Brown was an easily accessible cut player. He was getting played the league minimum for the. You know what I mean? And now, obviously, he is a horrible exception that we always bring up and we always point out with the Giants.
I'm not laughing. I just really thought people talk about second chances.
Yeah.
How many teams did Brandon Whedon get on?
I mean, he just got signed. Again, by the Texans.
They re-signed him? I thought he was already with them.
No, he was not under. He was not under contract going into this year. They just re-signed him 2 weeks ago.
He played for the Cowboys, played for the Texans, he played for the Browns, didn't he?
Then back to the Texans.
So he's got okay already.
Didn't he have a contract with the team for training camp and get cut?
I have no clue. Those are just the ones that I'm able to think of because that's all I know of Brandon Whedon.
Colin Kaepernick can still not get a job.
He hasn't gotten a second opportunity.
He could be the backup for the Bears. He could be
the backup for about 30 teams.
He could be competing for the starter for Arizona. He could be competing for the backup for the Dolphins. He could have obviously competed for the backup for the Ravens.
You can name 30 teams that need a backup quarterback.
So somebody argued with me about, well, he's the RG3 thing, because I said I would take Colin Kaepernick, and somebody said to me, well, what does it matter? He's a backup. He's never going to see the field anyways. And I said CC 2008 Philadelphia Eagles, because what happened in their situation. Now, do I think that Colin Kaepernick will come in and win a Super Bowl for the Ravens? Absolutely not. Did I think Nick Foles was going to do it for the Eagles? Absolutely not. Do I think Colin Kaepernick could come in for any team and absolutely do that? You're not going to put your money on that in any circumstances. But my point is the Eagles said that they signed Nick Foles. The reason they cut McDaniels and signed Nick Foles was because if they had one game to win at one point, could he step in and do it? And if you're going to say one game to win, would you rather RG3 come in or Colin Kaepernick come in to do it? You're going to pick Colin Kaepernick every day of the week if you know football.
To me, the Eagles thing is completely different because, to me, it's not a void because Nick Foles
I'm taking them out of it. I'm just saying in one game. Who would you take, RG3 or Colin Kaepernick?
Well, no, I got to touch base on your Nick
right.
Foles thing because I don't even feel like you need
That's
to
an anomaly.
Yeah, because he was already under that whole system, so I don't feel like that even need to be brought up. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can name 30, 31, 30... Well, let's just say 31 because the Eagles. Let's say the Eagles is that one. You can name 31 teams where this man could be a backup on.
Yeah, okay, I give you that. Because can you even name the Cowboys backup today? They'll probably have a different backup start. On opening day, they're going to probably have a different backup than they did last year.
I have no clue, but there's plenty of...
Kaepernick would be a great backup there, yes?
He'd be a great backup in 30 other situations,
I agree.
Is my point.
He could compete for the Jets job. The Bills right now, who's their quarterback?
He could be a backup on 30 teams. He could start for 15 of those. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
A minimum
and
10.
And the problem is, the real issue here is, fuck. This nigga, man. I'll find it at some point. The real issue is, this man isn't even getting an opportunity to be a backup. He's not even going to try out at this point. That is absolutely disgusting. If that does show collusion or something,
so my biggest thing is
at that point, then nothing will.
And we will always bring up anytime a player who is worse than Colin Kaepernick getting signed to a team in the next couple of years is going to get. We will talk about it. Johnny Manziel is striking up intrigue in the league. I hope that he does not get any actual interest because it is not fair if he gets a couple workouts and Colin Kaepernick does not. You talk about real off-the-field things that he did. He's going to need to spend 2 years up in Canada proving to everybody that he can do it. And at that point, he might be a little old, so he's going to have to probably go to the XFL, or the other league that's getting started up by that. You know what I'm talking about, that other league. There's a West Coast League or whatever it's supposed to be. The year before the XFL starts. But if they
we need more football.
If they could get Johnny Manziel and Colin Kaepernick, they're just starting it.
Well, Vince McMahon said
no felons.
No felons.
So there goes Manziel. Colin Kaepernick could play.
I don't know. We asked Vince McMahon about 8 times, and every time he deflected it with a different answer. So who knows?
Colin Kaepernick might go to that West Coast League. Johnny Manziel in that West Coast League. That'd be a pretty good startup for that West Coast League. To at least have names. I'm not saying that works, but it's bigger than the Big 3 basketball tournament, right?
I would say nobody other than Jared Hood is even paying attention to it. So.
More things Dwight wants to talk about. Actually wants to talk about. Before we break down round by round, team by team, player by player, position by position, ref by ref, who is your Eastern Conference champions, who is your Western Conference champions, and who does Dwight have winning the NBA title this year?
Warriors. Field.
You're taking the Cavs?
Field.
Sixers?
Field.
So you're
It's irrelevant.
Cavs or the field?
Field.
Well, who are you
The
going to take?
entire East is trash.
Will
The
you
entire Eastern Conference is trash.
Will you take the Cavs or will you take the rest of the East? Who are you picking?
The rest of the East, just because I hate LeBron James.
I'm going with the Cavs
Because he loves LeBron James.
to play the Warriors. I like the Sixers better. I'm going the Cavs to play the Warriors, and I got the Warriors winning.
God, that's horrible. Why? No.
Does
God,
Houston-
No. Please, God, no. I'll take the Bucks versus the Warriors. That's what. Dude, my
Sixers.
pick. I got Bucks.
Sixers.
Because I don't trust the Raptors. I don't trust the Sixers. I don't trust the Cavaliers.
Who covers Embiid in the East? You already said it last week. Nobody. But
The Greek Freak.
man,
The Greek Freak. I didn't. No, I said other than LeBron, if LeBron would check him, then who checks Simmons or vice versa was my argument. Let's be correct. Greek Freak checks.
Blazers, Spurs, Pelicans. Any of them compete with Houston?
I thought so.
Any of them compete with Houston or the Warriors?
No. Legitimately, no.
I agree. Does Houston take the Warriors to 7 games?
No.
16.
No. No.
5.
Yeah.
Warriors in 5.
Yep.
I got the Warriors in 5 or 6 as well.
Why? Because, and people will say, you're disrespecting the Raptors, you're disrespecting the Rockets.
I was coming
These
back.
teams...
I was going to come back to the Raptors. I like the Raptors.
These
I think the
teams-
Raptors have a good bench.
They
I
had a
think-
good bench last year, bro.
I think they have a better bench this year. I think the Raptors, the Sixers, are going to be fun, but I still think the Cavs are going to win the East.
I don't trust the Raptors. I don't trust the Spurs. I don't
Pelicans?
trust the Pelicans. I don't trust
Spurs made the
the
playoffs
Rockets
again.
is who I meant to say.
Yeah, I got you.
The Rockets and Raptors. Why? Because it's the same story every single year. It's the hype train. It's the leading into it, but then we fall off. It's the Clippers, Lob City. We're going, and now who? What? Who isn't making the playoffs? Oh, who did move past what the first round? Oh, I don't buy into the hype. Show me consistency.
Oklahoma
And
City?
neither one of those. Who?
I agree.
I don't know. No, Oklahoma
Does Paul
City's
George stay then?
Oklahoma City's a whole lot of nothing. It's Russell Westbrook, an overrated guy, and another overrated guy who have not gelled at all this
I like
season.
Paul George. Does Paul George stay?
Still overrated. No. But I still think he's overrated. He can come to LA all he wants. I'll still say he's overrated.
I think
He's
he
good.
leaves.
He's good, but no.
I still, like I said, I think I got Golden State and the Cavs. I just don't see anybody beating
Why
Golden
the
State.
Cavs? Why?
Because I think
Because
LeBron.
LeBron. Because LeBron. Because LeBron. Because LeBron. Because LeBron.
7 years in a row. This will be 8.
Eventually, your time has come, Undertaker. You just gotta,
Absolutely.
just...
I hope the
Let it
Sixers
be.
can be the team that do it.
No, it's not happening. No.
Who are you rooting for in the playoffs?
Nobody.
Houston?
Nobody.
Spurs?
There's a whole... No. It's a whole fat... It's a big fat zero.
Raptors?
No.
You gonna watch playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
Can I watch them with you?
Sure.
Cool.
I don't have... Legitimately, if you hold a gun to my head, I have the most unrealistic situation, which is the Bucks, because I like the Greek Freak a
No,
lot.
I'm not saying.
And
who.
I like
was asking
Russ.
who you're rooting for. Yeah, that's fine. Give me an actual team. Who you rooting? I don't care if
A
they're the
single
worst
team? No. No, I like...
Even if you're rooting for the 8 seed in both sides, I don't. You know what I mean? I look the Timberwolves. I mean,
I
Timberwolves
enjoy
are.
watching the Bucks. I can't even say I enjoy watching the Thunder. I just like Russell so much. No, it's no. There's a whole lot of I like. This year it seems like I like outside of my team. Obviously, I like individual players, but is there a specific team atmosphere that I'm behind? No. There's nothing. There's nothing in the West. There's nothing in the East. I'm over the Warriors. Outside the Warriors, the Spurs, they're not going to do anything this year. It's been done a million times. I'm good. Kawhi's not playing. Okay, so
they're not going to go far. I don't
So
think.
what else in the West? I'm gonna start just naming players and not teams
Blazers?
at that point. I'm gonna name players and not team at that point. I'm gonna name Dame Lillard. Yeah, I
Who I
root for
like.
you, but
I agree.
team wise, no. In the East, it's what LeBron versus the field, and I don't like LeBron or the field.
Every time I
Greek
shoot,
Freak,
it goes
so
in.
I can't stand the Raptors. So no, I don't. There isn't a single team this year that I'm like, okay.
That's what I was just
go
trying
ahead.
to think about. Like, can't think of a team that. I mean, the Pelicans I like, but Anthony
Right,
Davis.
I like Anthony
Cousins
Davis.
Is not
I like
there.
Boogie.
No, I hear what you're saying, but he's not even going to be playing. Boogie's hurt.
Do you care about the Pelicans as a franchise now? Or
No.
Right.
And I even like Drew Holiday, but no, I'm with you. Look, outside of the Sixers, I have the luxury of really liking LeBron James, so I have the Sixers and LeBron.
I really like Steph Curry, and like I like but they had their time, so I'm done with
It's
it.
not going to end anytime soon, I don't think.
Okay, well I'm done. I don't need to root for it. I've seen it. I'm good.
Well, Dwight.
And Brian, I don't like it, and I've seen it, so I'm not rooting for that. Sixers, it's Philly. Don't like it. Spurs, I've seen it, so I'm good. I guess I'm just gonna watch it. I'm biased this year, which is weird, unless the Cavs or the Sixers win, and then at that point I'm still going to the West anyway. So I gotta go with one snicker or the other, or Sixers. Which was I on?
Dwight.
Yeah.
Next week we'll have some of the NHL playoffs to talk about, some of the NBA playoffs to talk about. The draft is coming up soon for the NFL. The NBA might be, the MLB might be heating up. I apologize. Joshi Ohana playing well. We'll talk about that.
Is it heating up in week 3? Is that what we're doing?
Absolutely.
Baseball season must be dry out here.
Trust the process. Show you love. Go Sixers.